We're doing a book video. I don't know. I don't know. Today we're going to be talking about books, specifically my favorite reads from 2023. Now, I keep a list of all of the books that I've read in my notes app on my phone. I feel like it's just easier. I have a book journal. I need to get better at using the book journal. So for now, we have the phone and that works. So for 2023, I read a total of 14 books. I don't think it's not good or bad, it just is. I read 14 books, I don't know. In 2022, I read 25, and then in 2021, I was just getting back into reading, so I only read 4. I'm just happy that I was able to read, and honestly, out of those 14 books, I was very lucky to have quite a few 4.5, 5-star reads, so those are the ones that I'm sharing with you guys today. So in no particular order, we're gonna start getting through this stack of books that I have right here. And so on the top, first off, we have The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. Now, this was actually the first book I've ever read by Lauren Asher. For those of you who don't know, or maybe it's not super familiar, this is part of her Dreamland Billionaire series. It's actually the first book of 3, and personally, it was my favorite. I read all 3 books in 2023, and I don't know, Rowan and Zara, they kind of just hit the mark for me. This is a workplace romance. Takes place in, Dreamland, which is this like amusement park, roller coaster sort of situation, which we all are kind of familiar with one of those. And basically the premise of this book is that the boys, Rowan, Declan, and Cal, their grandfather has passed away, so in order to get their inheritance, the grandfather has left a task for each of the boys to do, and so this follows Rowan and his task. And honestly, the banter was just really fun. It was just a quick read. I really liked Zara as a character. I thought she was really well written, and it was just a really fun book, so I really enjoyed it. Next, we have From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata, and let me just tell you, 5 stars, okay? 5 stars, okay. Everything about it, okay. I'm like, I can't even right now. This book, I'm so speechless when it comes to this book. That's how good this was. So this book follows Jasmine and Ivan, and they are both adult figure skaters. Jasmine, hasn't been skating with a partner for a while and has been trying to figure out like what's her next move. And Ivan's partner, there's an issue, and Ivan no longer had a partner, and so they ended up pairing together as pair skaters. And this book was just really lovely to see their relationship, because they went from like sworn enemies to friends to lovers, and you just see the whole arc. And it's the little details and little things, and so it's a bit, this is one of the, actually this is not the biggest book. They're all of these books are pretty big. Good job, Brett. Okay, page count. Just seeing their entire relationship just take place over the course of the entire book, it was just so sweet and just so fun. All of these books are fun, so I feel like I'm gonna keep describing them as fun, but this book was just really fun. I definitely recommend it. This book made me want to go into ice skating, and I can't ice skate, at least not yet. But this one, I definitely wanted to sign up for classes, and I probably will. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But this book was very good. So the next book that I have is Shatter Me by Tahera Mafi, and I hope I said her name right. But this book was my introduction back into dystopian. I believe this is a YA series as well. This is a YA novel, but I also believe that this is a whole YA series. Again, another very popular book, so I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it. But this follows Juliet, who her touch is like lethal. Like, she will kill you on accident if you touch her. And she has been imprisoned and finally gets out, and now she's, figuring out what is the state of the world, what am I supposed to do. who to follow, who not to follow, who to trust. And I thought the concept of this was really, really interesting, and I'm excited to kind of see where the story goes. I will say the dynamics of the characters was not what I thought it was going to be, but I know a lot of people just say, like, keep reading. Overall, the story was fun, and I had a really fun time reading it, but I'm more interested to just kind of see where the story goes and where it leads. So from Juliet's perspective, I love, like, this. She's, good luck to her. Biggest of good lucks to her. Yeah, the whole thing is in her perspective, I think, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting concept, being that nobody can touch Juliet, but I also think it's really interestingly written, you know, with some of the text is crossed out, you know, if she's ruminating on different thoughts and things like that. I'm just really interested to see how this story progresses, and so I really enjoyed this one. This book I read earlier in the year. I read this on a flight. Going, and then I finished it on the flight coming back. So I read this within 2 flights, but that is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. And Archer, sweetheart, Archer. Oh my God, this book was so sad, and it was so, I was sad, I was happy, I was cheering, I was stressed, I was everything in this book. This book follows Archer Hale, who is kind of ostracized from the town, and oh my God, what is her name? What is this girl's name? Bree. Follows Archer, who is sort of ostracized from the town, and he ends up running into Bree, and Bree is essentially the only person who's truly given him any time of day. And it just kind of follows their relationship and how, you know, they get to know each other, and just seeing things from Archer's perspective, and especially having the disability representation in this was really, it was breathtaking, like really well done. I thought this was like a really lovely book. Not me wanting to reread this book right now. I'm like looking at it like, I could. If you have not read this book, definitely read it. This is also the first book. Actually, all of these books are the first books that I've read by these authors. So shout out to all of these authors. You guys, on the first book, you guys already won my heart. So wrapping it up, I have 2 books left, but I'm gonna talk about them at the same time because they are part of the same series, and that is the Beasts of the Briar series by Elizabeth Helen, which features the first book, Bonded by Thorns, and the second book, Woven by Gold. So I, recommended this book on Instagram, TikTok. Everybody was talking about it. It made its way to my page, and I said, you know what? Let me go ahead. I actually read both of these books on my Kindle. Loved them so much that I had to then go and buy the books, and I do plan on tabbing them and doing another read through and tabbing all of the books because this, it's so fun. So this book follows Rose, who heads to the world of the Fae to go and save her dad. Now, her dad ends up being imprisoned, and she goes, finds him, and is like, you know what, Dad? We're gonna swap. I'm gonna trade my situation for you. I'm gonna send you, you can go home. So she ends up swapping places with her dad, and that's kind of essentially how the story begins. And so we then meet the other beasts, or the other princes. You meet Keldarian, or Kel, Dayton, Farron, and Ezran. And then we also meet another prince, Prince of Thorns, and his name is Cass. Okay, so then Rosie meets the princes and then also finds out that they're beasts, right? And so she then makes up her mind to go and help them break their curse, and that's essentially where the story takes place. And so then that takes me into Woven by Gold. This book I read this book in 1 day. I read this book in 2. Obvious reasons, she's a lot. She's thick. And hey, we're not mad at that. Matter of fact, we love that here. And so this book just sort of continues the story. How can Rosie help these princes break their curse? And this one actually takes place in well, part of it takes place in the fall realm. And my first read of 2024, which is what I'm currently reading, is actually the third book in this series, Forged by Malice. And I have taken my time with that book only because, I read this book in a day. I read this book in 2 days. With Forged by Malice, it has taken me a week to read it intentionally, because I said, Brittany, you need to have some self-control. Why? Because the fourth book does not come out until September. So if you blow through this book right now, you're gonna have to wait until September. And I know that I still chose to read Forged by Malice as the first book in 2024 and that I have to wait until September anyway, but I'm at least trying to make it last. So I'm reading it on my Kindle, also waiting for the third book to come in, because when I tell you that I'm owning this entire series, I will own this series. I'm reading it on my Kindle and I have about less than 30% left, and everyone keeps talking about this cliffhanger and these plot twists, and when I tell you that my heart's not ready for it, because my heart, I don't think I can take it. I don't think I can take it, but I'm gonna have to forge ahead and see where this book goes. So definitely, this book is the series, 5-star series. This book was 5 stars and this book was 5 stars. I don't know, I have nothing else. So these books, I definitely recommend it. Oh, the other thing about this book is that it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you like retellings, if you like fantasy books, if you want to get into fantasy, if you like romantasy, I highly, highly, highly recommend this book and this series and all of them. But yeah, so those are all of my top books for 2023. I hope everyone had a great 2023. I wish you all the best in the readings and things that y'all are doing in 2024. I hope that you all I wish everyone 5-star reads in 2024, 4.5 stars. I hope everybody has fun. So if you guys like any of these books that I talked about in this video, or you think that there's a book that you think I might like, please put them in the comments below. Send them to me, something, so that way I can read some of your recs. You guys can maybe check some of these out, and I hope you guys like them. But yeah, so thanks for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.